The Rorquat is one of the charming products of the South African defense industry, which have produced many legendary weapon systems. Because it was developed based on real combat experiences, the vehicle is among the best in its class. Now, we are investigating the Rorquat, the king of the savannah. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel before we start, and give us a thumbs up if you like our video. To be notified of our new video, please click the bell button. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. The Rorquat, which means caracal, is not a tank destroyer, but an armored reconnaissance vehicle with good anti-tank and fire support capability. It was designed based on the unique geographical and operational requirements of sub-Saharan Africa. It is not the fruit of some theoretical study. The experiences gained during the South African border war paved the way for the creation of the Rorquat. At the beginning of the war, the South African Defense Force, shortly SADF, had the Eland, which is a licensed production variant of the AML. The armor protection and firepower of this vehicle were sufficient for the counterinsurgency operation in Southwest Africa, today Namibia. But when Angola became a part of this conflict, the situation changed. First of all, the operation area of the SADF expanded. However, the Elands had high fuel consumption. They could not follow the Rattles in deep raids. Besides, the People's Armed Forces of Liberation of Angola got many tanks from the USSR. Also, many heavily armed Cuban troops began to intervene in the war after 1975. The Eland's 90mm gun was inadequate against the new threat. To encounter the Soviet-built tanks, the SADF began to deploy its Centurions in these raids. But these track monsters could not follow the high speeds of the wheeled vehicles. Also, their fuel consumption was higher than the Elands. The complex mechanical parts of the Centurion caused a logistical nightmare. So, the SADF began to seek a new wheeled vehicle in the mid-1970s, which was the optimum solution. Thanks to its low fuel consumption, it was suitable for long-range raids. The wheeled vehicles were faster than the track ones. Its less complex mechanical parts were more reliable and were also allowing easy maintenance and repair. The wheeled vehicles did not depend on the railways and tank transporters. The dusty terrain of the savannah caused the frequent breakdown of the tracks. The wheels were immune from this problem. Also, when a tracked vehicle hit a landmine, it required a long time to return the mission. But a wheeled vehicle could be repaired in a considerably shorter time. Because of the big financial burden of the war and imposed arms embargo, the works progressed slowly. As an interim solution, it fitted 90mm guns onto some Rattles. South Africa produced 3 8x8 prototypes between 1976 and 1979. These vehicles were built using the components of the Rattle, Eland, and Saracen. They were armed with the 17-pounder HV tank guns, which were dismantled from the retired Comet tanks. The SADF did not find any of these 3 prototypes suitable for its requirement, but they provided valuable feedback to advance the program. In 1982, 3 more prototypes called the Bismarck, Cheetah Mark I, and Cheetah Mark II were developed. Some sources claim that these vehicles were designed with technical assistance from the West German Thyssen Henschel. Indeed, especially the Cheetah Mark I had very similar lines to the TH400 of this company. The 8x8 Bismarck was heavy and it was equipped with Denel's 105 GT7 gun. The other 2 vehicles had a 76mm gun. After the trials, in 1984, the SADF chose the Cheetah Mark II. In 1984 Operation Askari, the SADF encountered large Angolan tank formations for the first time. This event relatively accelerated the program, but it was not fast enough. In 1987, Sandak Austral delivered the production variant of the Cheetah Mark II, now called Rorquat, to the SADF for further trials. In 1989, a single South African armored squadron began receiving it. The Rorquat could reach the serial production phase in 1990 when the South African border war ended. The first 28 vehicles were pre-production models. Later, in 3 lots, 216 Rorquats were delivered. The vehicles of the first lot were designated as Mark 1A, the second lot as Mark 1B, and the third lot as Mark 1C. 72 Roycats were produced for each lot. All production lots had slight improvements. Between 2000 and 2006, South Africa upgraded 80 Roycat to Mark 1D standard, which has improved the vehicle's engine reliability. Today, only these model vehicles are still in active service of the South African National Defence Force, shortly SANDF. The previous variants have been stored or retired. There are some non-serial variants of the Roycat. The variant with the 105mm GT7 gun was developed for the international market. Also, it has more capable sight and fire control systems. The medium turret technology demonstrator was developed to test the feasibility of a 105mm high pressure and 120mm low pressure main gun mounted on a remote control turret in conjunction with an auto-loading system and various other technologies. The Roycat ZA-35 was a self-propelled anti-aircraft gun variant with a twin 35mm guns, surveillance, and tracking radar and optics. The self-propelled anti-aircraft missile variant of the vehicle had the South African high-velocity missile, which later became the Imkonde missile. The Roycat 35 ZT-3 was fitted with a 35mm gun, as well as a triple ZT-3 anti-tank guided missile launcher. South African Mechanology Design Bureau and Jordanian King Abdullah II Design and Development Bureau jointly developed another anti-tank variant of the vehicle. The four-person crew of the Roycat consists of the commander, driver, gunner, and loader. The vehicle is 8.2 meters long, 2.9 meters wide, and 2.5 meters high. Its combat weight is 28,000 kilograms. The 563 horsepower diesel engine provides a maximum road speed of 120 kilometers per hour. The range of Roycat is 1,000 kilometers. The vehicle can negotiate 1 meter vertical steps, 2 meter trenches, and can ford to a depth of 1.5 meters. The Roycat has a 76mm GT4 rifled gun and two 7.62mm MG4 machine guns. At first glance, many may suppose that this 8x8 vehicle has a similar mission definition with the Japanese Type 16 and the Italian Centauro. But the Roycat was designed for the same job as the AMX 10RC. It is not a tank destroyer, but an armored reconnaissance vehicle with good anti-tank and fire support capability. The main mission definition of the Roycat is to provide reconnaissance information and to protect the mechanized unit's flanks. The South African border war occurred in a vast and flat area. There were no geographical obstacles which could secure the flanks of a mechanized column. So a vehicle for detecting and delaying a possible flank attack was crucial until the main elements take a position. Roycat was also designed based on the maneuver-oriented anti-tank tactics developed by the experience from the South African border war. The SADF and its successor, SANDF, has trained the Roycat crew to engage tanks only from the defilade or otherwise static defensive positions. Besides, there was no significant urbanized area on the vast and flat battlefield of the South African border war. So both sides could not rely on the logistic centers in the cities or towns. They had to rely on extended supply lines. So the side which could manage to interrupt its enemy's supply lines could also manage to halt the enemy's advance. Even though it did not get a real chance to prove itself in the South African border war, with its high speed and long range, the Roycat was perfect for this job. To reduce development and production costs as well as logistic requirements, some of its parts, such as auxiliary turret sights, hydropneumatic shock absorbers, and coil springs are inherited from the previous Eland. The 76mm GT4 rifled gun is a derivative of the Otomelera's 76mm naval gun. At first glance, many may say that a 76mm gun is insufficient for modern combat needs, but it perfectly meets the specific conditions in the region. The South African engineers chose the GT4 for many valid reasons. First of all, the 76mm armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding sabot tracer munition fired from the gun is sufficient to penetrate the armors of the T-55s and T-62s from all directions from a range of 2,000 meters. Thanks to its smaller size than the 105mm ones, the Roycat can carry more ammunition, which is more useful for long-range raids. Also, the 76mm gun produces a lower recoil effect, which makes the Roycat more stable during the fire and increases the rate of fire. The turret is stabilized and the gun is accompanied by a digital fire control system and a laser rangefinder. It can traverse a full 360 degrees in 9 seconds. The reaction time of the Rorcat is 2 seconds. The GT4's rate of fire is 6 rounds per minute. The vehicle can fire while on the move. Both the commander and gunner can independently operate the gun. This 76mm high-explosive tracer munition has a maximum range of 3,000 meters. Some sources claim that this round can reach a range of 12,000 meters. But the depression elevation angles of the main gun is between -10 to +20 degrees. The range of 12,000 meters can be achieved by the naval variant of the 76mm gun, which has higher elevation angles. The 7.62mm MG4 machine gun is a South African upgraded variant of the M1919. In general, the current Mark 1D models do not have the second air defense machine gun. The ammunition is placed into the hull instead of the turret to increase survivability. The frontal arc of the all-welded steel armor is resistant against 23mm armor-piercing munition. With the additional special protection plates under the belly, the Rorcat can be resistant to the detonation of the TM-46 anti-tank mine. The standard tires of the vehicle survive the attack from a 7.62mm small arms fire and the laceration effect of the tree stumps or sharp boulders. In case of an emergency, the commander, gunner, and loader can escape through the hatches located on either side of the hull in between the second and third wheel. This prevents the crew from being exposed to small arms fire during evacuation. The Rorcat also has an exhaust smoke generator and smoke grenade dischargers. In general, the vehicle moves with 8x4 drive on the road and 8x8 drive on off-road. The Rorcat has a maximum road speed of 120 km per hour, but its safe cruising speed is 90 km per hour. The vehicle has a central tire inflation system which increases cross-country mobility. Even when two tires on the same side are damaged, the vehicle can still continue moving. Due to the dusty conditions in southern Africa, the engine is fitted with a primary and secondary dust filter. The Rorcat could reach the serial production phase in 1990, so it never fought in the South African Bush War. But in 1998, the Southern African Development Community intervened Lesotho through the SANDF to quell a coup. During the operation, the Rorcats of the 1st Special Service Battalion participated in various security operations. The Rorcat has never found an opportunity to prove itself in real combat. The effort toward the international market has been fruitless until today. But despite these negative factors, most military enthusiasts have always accepted this beautiful South African Wildcat as a successful vehicle. This fact alone makes the Rorcat a true legend. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up if you liked our video. To be notified of our new videos, please click the bell button. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel.